Hello guys and welcome to this video. Now I am pleased to report, both pleased and sad actually, that I will be selling this gorgeous Tudor Black Bay ETA Smiley with the burgundy bezel on my store. That's svkwatches.ae, based here in Dubai. Initially just to Dubai and UAE clients. However, if you are interested and you're overseas, you can contact me and we can maybe arrange something. But I say I'm sad about having to do that because, well, actually, I initially bought this for myself a few months ago. I already have the Black Bay Black. This is the in-house version from a little bit later on. The red bezel watch is, I believe, from 2014 approximately. This one is from 2019. So it's a later model, and also I've had this one the longest, and I've had many memories with the black dial watch or the black bezel watch. So I would like to keep this one. It's a little more versatile for me. But the ETA I was specifically interested in because it is the more collectible version and it is also the slimmer version. We'll see exactly how much slimmer in a moment. And in fact, I believe this is still the slimmest version of the Black Bay, even though the latest model with the METAS certified movement has just come out. It doesn't quite reduce the thickness enough compared to the first version, which is this, and the Mark 1, which was the ETA powered. So this was before Tudor used their own in-house movements. This watch is also much easier to service and much cheaper to service and run. And this example features all original bezel and crystal, which look fantastic. The dial and the bezel and all the top of the watch, the bit that you see the most, is in really good condition. And the glass, of course, there's no marks or chips on there. The case and bracelet are worn. Okay, this is a used watch from sort of 10 years. So it's got some marks pretty much all over the bracelet, and I'll take it off this so we can have a proper look around. It's got marks on the case sides. Okay, I think it might have been polished on the sides just a little bit, but you can see some hairline scratches. We've got some bigger marks here around the lugs. And, you know, these are, I would say, it is a used watch, of course, and it isn't worn to an extreme level. And note that I do have extremely strong lights here, which I usually use for watchmaking and checking my own watches for marks and dials and things. And it's going to show at pretty much every floor. In regular light, you wouldn't see most of these. But either way, I've got to show you the proper condition because it is a more luxury watch. And mechanically, working really, really well. It is performing, interestingly, equally on the time grapher to my black bezel variant, and they're both running within, I believe it was 10 seconds, or I think this one went into about 6 seconds a day. This one was about 7 seconds a day. So essentially equal in terms of performance, which is quite surprising considering the notable technical differences in here. And this watch is also much older. But you can see how they stand up to the test of time. My black version, I wear this and I don't baby it at all. You can see the bracelet looks totally wrecked actually compared to this one on the camera. But both of them are definitely worn and enjoyed. And if you're going to be buying a watch like this, I'd highly recommend the Black Bay anyway. This is a great shout, especially if you're planning on wearing it and using it and enjoying it. This should not be a safe queen. It's a luxury enthusiast's watch because it's the ETA version. It's going to fit on most wrists as well. And we will do that size comparison of the true kind of sizes of both of these. And you can see it's almost clear on the camera how much slimmer the red bezel is to the outgoing Black Bay, and I believe, I'm not certain, but I believe it is still slimmer than even the latest version with the METAS movement. Now, just a few key features here. We've got obviously the screw down crown. It is a 41 across the case, and I'd say it wears just like a 41, perhaps even slightly bigger, which is great for if you've got a larger wrist, and the Black Bay 58, which is the darling of the lineup, is a bit too small for you. The screw down crown, it's got the little red burgundy tube, which looks just like the color of the bezel, which is quite nice as well. In this case, really, interestingly, between the movements, you wouldn't really know which one you were winding. The feel of everything is exactly the same. When you pull the crown out, though, one change is with the ETA movement, you set the watch in the opposite direction. So it's you turn the crown anti-clockwise to set the watch clockwise, which is just slightly different to what I was used to. Just while I'm on that dial, it has the rose logo, which is also indicative of this design compared to the newer shield logo that you'll see on the dial here. But you still get the crown on the crown. Interestingly, this crown I've had to replace, I think, twice with Tudor because the paint keeps falling out of it. Whereas this one is on a much older watch, and whatever paint they were using back then is still looking great. So that's quite an interesting thing. I remember when I first received this watch, I wasn't sure. Okay, I bet the crown is all the paint's come out the crown because it's so much older, but it hasn't. So whatever they were doing back then seemed to actually be better than the newer crowns. Although I think they've done away with that painted crown by now. So screwing the crown back in, we can take a look at the bracelet. This type of bracelet has the same kind of clasp. Of course, this one is quite worn, but it's still got those lovely ceramic balls holding it all together and that lovely simple feel when you close it. A little bit of adjustment, but not too much. Of course, it's all screws and in the links, everything's solid. The case back on this one, I believe the previous owner wore this on the NATO quite a lot, so it does have some vertical kind of marks from that. We do have a NATO included with this, by the way, but we do not have a box or original paperwork. It is sold as pretty much everything you see here. I will include the NATO, of course, but that's not probably the first choice given that there's a bracelet. We've got the serial number engraved along with the model number in the right place. Inside, I have seen inside the watch. I won't be opening it now, but a watchmaker had it open to check the movement, and it is in fact the Tudor ETA as required. I'm open to any checks on that, by the way. If you are in Dubai and you want to get this checked out, you are more than welcome to. So let's see this on my wrist, and then I'll give you a sample of one of my favorite parts of the Black Bay, which is the bezel sound. So we've got it on my 7 3/4 inch wrist here, and it is looking great, and it feels great too. We have the slimmer profile is not immediately noticeable, but after a minute of wearing it, you start to look down and notice there really isn't any bubble kind of on the back of this slab-sided case. And the whole watch just feels the right proportions. I would also argue that this shape of the bracelet with the wider links in the middle compared to this design is also actually nicer, and they should have kept that with this. A lot of people complain about the rivet bracelet. I don't particularly mind it. I think it looks cool, but when you see the plainer example, it definitely looks like an older design, which it is, but with this red bezel as well, considering the condition, I think it looks fantastic. So there it is on the wrist, guys. I have also had a look, of course, at this compared to the Harrods version, which I also had for some time, but let go. You can check my channel for that full review there. Now, the last thing I'll show you is the bezel action. I love the bezel action on Black Bays, and I was really pleased to see that this particular watch had the same sound. And when you turn it, you get that super defined click, and it's a 60 click bezel, which I think for a dive watch is absolutely perfect. And as you come back round, I don't know if you could hear that on the mic, but it was a slightly different sound for 12. So you can actually reset your bezel without looking at the watch. That's a super unique feature that's hard to fake, and it is still present on the Mark 1 version. So I think with as a used watch, if you're looking for a watch not to worry about, just to wear, enjoy, beat up a bit, and then get serviced for much cheaper than any other luxury Tudor watch these days, the ETA Smiley is the watch for you. I would say that, of course, because I'm selling this one, but please check it out on my store. You're welcome to visit me here in Dubai to have a look in person. The last thing I was going to do is just show you the comparison of the thickness. So I have shown you briefly this on the camera. I think this view illustrates it the best. We've got that case back really protruding out the bottom of the Tudor in-house version, and on the left, sorry, we've got the much slimmer first version. If only they just kept this size. I don't know if they'd sell as many watches being ETA powered as perhaps it might have been hard for them to increase the price to match the rest of their lineup. But I mean, from here it's obvious which one everyone would pick. And they've tried to slim it down with a new version, but I don't think they've slimmed it down all that much. So size-wise, the total thickness here is just 12.7 I'm getting, and comparing that to the original Black Bay I have, we have got 14.8. So that's like 2.1 millimeters thicker. Now they do a good job of hiding all that thickness in this Black Bay, but I mean, for 2 millimeters, I'd say most people would rather go for this, and I can see why, especially the black bezel ETA Smiley is now super collectible, really quite expensive, and the red and blue versions are still attainable. So have a look at them. If you're interested in this one, let me know. I think it's a great watch. It's in a used condition, doesn't have box and papers, and the price I put it out at in Dubai, considering this is probably the only watch for sale in Dubai as well, is very reasonable. If you want to come and look at it, let me know, and see you next time, guys. Enjoy your day, and leave us a comment, like, subscribe, all the rest of it, and follow me on Instagram as well. That's Seikomodsdubai. Check out my Seiko mods if you haven't already, and all the best. Happy watching. Thank you.